had to skip fast. Let me just share my screen. You see, I'm not able to share my screen.
You're not able to share your screen?
No, it does not give me the option of sharing the PPT. When we use the arrow button.
Okay. Maybe just see, close the other windows and just check. If your other windows are open, you can just close them.
No.
Is it happening or not?
No, it's just showing when I'm going to the screen share option, it's just showing a blank window. It's not giving me the option of sharing my PPT. Okay, let me just join the meeting again, probably. Maybe that should solve the problem.
Okay. I request everybody just be patient. Within a minute, we'll start the session. Yeah, so I actually made her the co-host. Okay, so while Trisha is taking some time, I would like to just remind all of you that please join on our social media channels on Facebook and on Telegram, and be as active as you can, because more the active you are, more engagement you show, more it will be beneficial for all the other participants as well. Okay, so do follow us on Facebook and Telegram. Trisha, have you? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I'm just going to start. Okay. Hi everyone. Day before yesterday, हमने देखा background and scientific background about resonance and Healy. Healy के अंदर के parts कैसे है, वो क्या क्या चीजें करता है, and at the same time, we also saw in detail the database of resonance. Now, today we are going to get to know more about aura. This is a bit about myself that we got to know each other in the previous session. Just to conclude it, I am practicing with time waivers since last 12 years. I'm based out of Mumbai, and I am their India partner. And I have my well-being center out here in Mumbai. Now, we also saw time weaver know-how in the previous session. So I'm going to quickly go through this, and I'm going to pinpoint certain areas which are relevant with the aura analysis as a topic today. Now, certain things about, the Healy that you have in your hand, or you are wearing your Healy. Inside the heart of the Healy is a quantum sensor, or you can call it as a light quantum resonator also. This works with the photons. Now, certain devices, like the time waiver devices, they work with electrons and photons both, where electrons work with the energy field, energy body, energy field, and the photons, they work with the information level. So your Healy works with the photons only. So these photons, what happens is that these photons, they carry the information and transfer it to our information field. Along with this, quantum sensor also does a lot of other things like, analyzing you in real time, finding the most relevant frequencies for you when you're using the Pink app, and so on. But today, what I want you to remember is what do these photons do? That's the only thing I want you to remember when we are going to work with aura. So now, what is aura? A lot of you are expert in the field of aura, vastu, different healing therapies and modalities, but a lot of us are new also. So I'm just going to do a very basic, tiny explanation about what aura is and how it is connected with our system. An aura is an electromagnetic field that surrounds every living being, is constantly around us. And often before we interact with a person by opening our mouth and using words, our aura has already interacted with that space, with another person, with another living organism also. Now, all of us have at different points, sensed this electromagnetic field, just the way we have a field outside us. Everybody we meet, or every living object, or everything that has an energy field has an auric field also. So when we are going for a meeting, when we go to meet them, there is automatically our aura and their aura, sort of exchanging information with each other, sort of communicating with each other. Same way, when we go to a place like a temple, a place of worship, a place of prayer, which is built with a lot of holy intentions, we automatically start feeling something called as we feel good. There's a good vibe around this. So this vibe is nothing but the aura of that place also. So aura is not just limiting itself to us as human beings, but is also something which plants, animals, or an organization, a building, anything that has a field will also have an auric field also. Now, if you think carefully, in various different situations, you must have observed that suddenly you feel emotionally disturbed. Something has suddenly gotten to you and you feel slightly stressed out. Sometimes when you enter a room, instead of feeling so positive like we feel when we enter a temple, or we meet our leaders, or we meet our spiritual guides, or our gurus, often we have an experience which is very, very touching to the heart, and we feel very, very overwhelmed. Those, and then there could be tears of release. Okay. But in case where we are meeting somebody, or we enter a place of dispute, fight, we automatically can feel less energetically active, or we could feel emotionally disturbed. So why is that so? This is so because our information field is communicating with your information field, and there is an exchange that has happened on our intuitive level. Every time when we generate a certain thought pattern is when that thought pattern, somewhere, contributes and becomes a part of our auric field. We gather information about those around us. We gather information from the social media messages that we read, the Twitter messages, the newspapers that we read. In all these different external sources, we are constantly gathering information. Now, what exactly happens to this information? A lot of times we think of a certain thing and it actually passes away. जैसे जैसे हम कहते हैं कि एक कान से सुन के दूसरे कान से निकाल देते हैं, वैसे ही a lot of thoughts are the unwanted traffic on the road, which will pass, which will move on. Actually, it will move on, but on the auric field level and at the energetic level, it's not exactly moving on. A part of every information that you have gathered about your environment, about your neighbors, about the Bollywood gossip, about any such different things, that information somewhere gets stored in a certain area. And that is our information level and the auric field. So that is why when two people aura, it ends up unwantedly, unavoidably interacting with each other. That is why an energy exchange unknowingly also happens. Now these auras, this aura that we have has different layers around us. It's not just one field around us. There are different layers of aura, there is causal body, there is celestial body, there is astral body, mental body, emotional body, and etheric body. Now aura goes from outside to inside. Like I said, aura, in the previous slide, we saw that aura is the electromagnetic field around us, surrounding us. But surrounding us is not the only place where aura is present. What goes on outside is exactly what goes on inside also. So this electromagnetic field, what is outside us, is called aura. And then we have 7 different energy centers in our body, which is called chakras. So the internal system is called the chakras, and the external system, you can call it as auras. Now together, we are made up of energy, these two very solid pipelines of energy, and which are constantly interacting with each other. So where on the outer level, as you can see on the screen, there are different layers of auric field: the causal body, celestial body, etheric body, astral body, and so on. Similarly, inside us are 7 different chakras. These 7 different chakras are connected with our endocrine system in the body, which is responsible for our correct functioning, because it is responsible for the correct balancing of our hormonal system. Like the crown chakra, which is placed here, the crown chakra is for spirituality, is connected with the pineal gland. The third eye chakra, which is here, at the place, at the center of the forehead, is connected with awareness, how aware you are, how are you able to focus, concentrate. And it's connected with the pituitary gland. Then we have the throat chakra, which is for communication, and it is connected with our thyroid gland. Then the heart chakra, which is the anahata chakra, it's for the feeling of love, the emotion of love, and the thymus gland. Now these areas, that they are divided in 7 different areas. Now they are not just covering the pineal gland or the pituitary gland or the thyroid gland, because we've seen these three up till now. They are actually covering that entire area. Like, for example, if you check out the throat chakra. Now throat chakra, though, is connected very majorly with the thyroid gland, but it's also connected with let's say a neck pain, shoulder pain, anything which is connected with this particular area, front and the back. Same way with the solar plexus chakra, which is connected with the pancreas. And for digestive related issues also, you could use the help of this chakra, which is the solar plexus. Same way for heart related issues, okay, because it falls inside of that area. It's not just the thymus gland, but the neighborhood of that area. Like, you could use the heart chakra for lungs also. It's connected with the heart also. So it covers all of the organs which are present in that area or the section. Then we have the sacral chakra, which is connected with the adrenal gland, which is for creativity and sexuality. And the root chakra, that is the Muladhara, for basic trust, and the intestinal area, or you could say the female or the male genital system also. So that way, in this way, aura is connected with 7 different layers outside us. And as aura starts coming more and more deeper inside, it starts constituting inside in the form of chakras. These chakras, these 7 chakras, and our auric field, they are constantly communicating with each other by exchanging a lot of information. Now, they're constantly communicating with each other. So when we say that one is less or something is imbalanced in one area, automatically when it becomes the intensity of it, when it increases, it automatically also affects the inside area of our body or the outside area. Now, sometimes the problem, it's very, very difficult to actually point out whether a certain problem is actually starting from the auric level, that is the outside to inside, or whether it has started at the organ level and the chakras and passing on to, or showing an imbalance finally in the auric field, because these fields are very, very closely connected. I would like here for you to think of our body as a multinational company, which has a lot of small institutions and segments and departments, where for all of these departments, they need to work together and communicate with each other. And only when they do so, can we say that the organization is going to operate smoothly and is going to have successful results, profits, sales, and so on. So each thing, every department has its own role and responsibility, and they need to function together simultaneously by giving and taking from each other. Now, such is the case with our body also. Take off our body also as a complex institution where various different segments are working together in synchronicity with each other, where organs, they already have a set information, they already know how to work. When a child is born, does the child have to be taught how to breathe? Do we have to teach a child how to go through the digestion as a process, or how to excrete? We don't. We all already know these things. So how do we know these things? Where is this information coming from? Well, this information is coming from our organs, and these organs, they already have a stored set of information inside it. Please give me a moment. I have a rough throat. Okay. Now these organs, they sort of have information field inside it. Now these organs, they are already self-taught, They have an information field inside it, and hence they are able to function in an an autopilot mode, where they don't have to be taught how to work and what it is supposed to do. Now, where does it get its energy from? Where does it get its chi from? Well, so they get it from the chakra system, and chakra is constantly also communicating with the auric field and its various different layers. Now, such is the entire background of aura. Now, aura is not a new concept to us, and many of us may already know it. Now, what is the best part here, and what makes what we have different than what is already there out there, or what other people already know, is the fact that we can work with Healy on various different levels. That is, with the human beings, with animals, with plants, buildings, organizations, and groups. Now, all of these areas, you can work beautifully with the auric energy, with the aura field. Now, while you are doing aura analysis, okay, of a person, this is how you are going to get an image, on your healing. It's a combination of beautiful colors which are spread on the outside, beautiful colors which are a part of various different areas, and these colors are constantly communicating with each other and constantly passing the information from outside to inside, and from inside to outside. And when this information goes in from inside to outside, it does not just stop there. It then starts communicating with the information field around us, or that of other people, and eventually with the global information field also. So together, if you see closely, it is all constantly connected with each other. The global information field is connected with our information field. Our information field is connected with our auric field. Our auric field is connected then with our emotional body, our etheric body, astral body, emotional body, physical body, and so on. All these things together, they are constantly vibrating and storing a lot of information. Similarly, this is the outside, this is the external background. Similarly, we have a background inside of us in the form of chakras, where chakras and the organs are constantly communicating with each other and are sharing information. And these chakras then, they pass this information to the auric level and so on. So here you can see that there is a wobbly image, I have stored multiple pictures here for us to see how this looks. And we can obviously see a live demo later on. Now, when we are doing aura analysis with healing, remember what I said in the previous slide. There is something that makes us different from what is out there. There is something that is standing out than what is out there. And that is that the auric level is connected on various different levels, but that's not it. The point here is that when we run an aura analysis with our healing, in the interpretation section, you can see that he beautifully connects you with helping you understand at the deeper level what are the physical interpretations, what is happening at the psychic level or emotional level. There is something called as a life topic, which covers the planetary influences also. We then have the psychological level and spiritual level. All these things are already there out there when you are running the aura analysis. All these things together are responsible for letting us know what is the type of information quality present out there in our auric field. How is the communication between aura and the chakras? So, with the physical level, you can get to know a lot about where a certain area is connected with what type of organs and what type of imbalances could it lead to. For example, let's say there's a lot of imbalance with the throat chakra, which is connected very closely with communication as a skill set, and with holding of emotions at the emotional level, and is also simultaneously connected with the hormone thyroxine. So now at the physical level, if this particular aura is imbalanced, this category, this area of aura shows an imbalance, you can always go deeper and try to understand why is this aura having an imbalance? What does Healy tell you about this particular area? And you can find it in all these various different ways. Now our body, because it's so complex, from outside, there are different layers, and then that these layers are connected with the global information field, and then inside of us is organs and the chakras. It's quite beautifully built as a structure, but at the same time it's quite complex in nature. So when these complex things, they are so connected that we can never say that this is the only there is never only one reason for a certain imbalance to happen. There are always more than one reason for a certain imbalances to happen. And our aura analysis with Heal Advisor Analyze app is an exact extension to helping us understand and accept exactly this, where your certain areas of aura is imbalanced because of so many different reasons. Now with these areas, you can go deeper. Well, by reading these interpretations, you can go in deeper to understand where could be the underlying problem with yourself or your client if you are using it as a practitioner. Now, when I connect my healing, I will try to show you the interpretation if the time permits. But if not, you can always run an aura analysis. Go to the interpretation section and you can check out the beautiful details, the beautiful explanation that it has shared. It shares a beautiful explanation about a general understanding of a certain area, aura, let's say crown aura, then it gives you a beautiful understanding about the crown chakra, and then it gives you a beautiful understanding about how, on what level, what organs are connected with the crown chakra. It gives you a beautiful understanding on what could be the spiritual connections here, what could be the psychological connections, emotional connection with when it sometimes in certain areas, especially the crown or the third eye, it really shows something called as psychic. Now psychic is nothing but a beautiful combination of three main aspects, that is body, mind, and soul. So at the psychic level, you can understand an overview of how a person is feeling today. Like, let me give you an example. At the psychic level, we say that, okay, an XYZ person lost his job and this has affected his psyche. We will not say this has affected him just physically, emotionally, or spiritually, but we will use the word psyche because it has affected not just his mind, not just his, spiritual energies, but also his emotional body. So that's why, hence, we use the word psyche. Now, we then have a beautiful section called as life topic. Life topics gives you a deeper understanding of how the planets out there are constantly connected with us and how planetary influence can also affect or influence the energy field or the auric field or the chakra levels in our system. So the life under life topic, you can see a beautiful explanation about, let's say, how a Jupiter is connected with a certain area, and then what are the different imbalances that it can cause. So I do suggest that you go back to this section and have a great thorough read about this, because it's a beautiful interpretation. And going ahead, once we analyze the aura, what are the things that we come across after what we saw? So the first step with analyzing aura with Healy is that we are able to set an intention of our choice. Remember that our intention is a very, very important medium to generate and pass on the information from our information field to that of the global information field, and vice versa. So intention is everything. And the beautiful part about aura is that we can set an intention of our choice. We can set a focus of our choice. Remember to always have a focus in an affirmation instead of using no's, nots, negatives. Don't use those. Instead, use something in a present tense, something that you have probably you are achieving it already. So let's say the focus here is let's say the focus here is confidence because of the examination. There are certain board exams which are going on, for a lot of kids. So let's say the intention is the examination, then for your child, then your focus has to be set in an affirmation like, I am confident about my examination. I am confident about what all the books I have read about history as a subject. I am writing with confidence. I am my writing speed is to its fullest potential, and so you can make a beautiful intention out of this, put it in affirmative, and place it. It's better to write it in this tense rather than writing it in a present continuous or something. Sorry, it's better to write it like this rather than writing it as a past tense or future tense. We should not, it's not suggested, time Yoga does not suggest that we write this information in something called as, I am going to write my exams properly. No, I will be writing my exams properly is also future tense. I wrote my exams. No, that does not make sense, because then the whole point of creating a remote optimization does not make sense. It's not relevant. Hence, the correct statement is in the form of already achieving something. I am writing my exams confidently. Okay, so this is one cue or tip regarding the focus and intention. Now coming to relevance. Yesterday I had created a beautiful slide on relevance, sorry, day before yesterday, and I'm going to also show this to you going ahead. Um, which is this slide. I request you to please consider only this slide and not we saw the previous time because of the typo error in acute and chronic. Now, relevance, what is relevance? Relevance, though we saw previously, I will just give it a short repeat so that we are able to connect this more with the aura analysis after it is done. Now, relevance is basically Healy's way to numerically express itself, uh, to help you compare the different information as per what is the most resonating information in your information field. So this relevance can be in the range of positive or negative, from 0 to -100 or from 0 to +100. Now the negative part, before, when we a lot of time back, I think at least 2 years ago or 3 years ago, when I was using the Healy, resonance also used to have negative relevancies, but that's, I don't think it's happening anymore. So, however, with aura analysis, you have both an option to work with negative also and an option to work with positive also. But how do you know what should you work with? So here's a sneak peek to this. The negative information or the negative relevance, that is, it could be -25, it could be -15, it could be -75. So this negative is basically for inactive information or the information field which is stored. There's a lot of information out there, but not every information is relevant. Not every information is affecting you symptomatically in the now. It could be something which happened years ago, and maybe it is influencing you but not so much right now. So that all of these areas are called chronic. It there's an influence, but there's a background influence, it's not a foreground influence. And then we have the positive area, that is 0 to +100, where the relevancies could show in the form of 54%, 64%, 74%, 94%, and so on. Now, the higher the relevance means more this certain information that you see on your screen, on your phone screen, the higher the relevance, it means that this particular information is more resonating with your information field. It's more active. It could also mean that this particular information is affecting at the foreground level. A lot of times you may find that you as a person or your client who you are trying to help, or your potential client, potential for lead, is not exactly aware about this information. It could, which could mean that when they are not so aware, it could be in the negative relevance. When they are aware, it is in the positive. Now Healy is always on, always right. Time Waver is also always and always right. It is often us as people, as humans, where we may be unaware of something which is affecting us in the background. A lot of times it is observed in my experience that the positive relevancies, they connect very strongly with the acute happening in a person's life, which means this is ये सब चीजें अभी actually हो रही है इनके life में. It could be the headache, it could be a dispute with the boss, it could be that a person is very, very worried about money matters, is very worried about a certain health pain which is happening right now. So this is an acute information. Okay. At the same time, certain chronic examples are, separation of parents, which happened at a very early stage in our life. It could be about somebody's a family member's death. It could be about a certain trauma that you went to, a childhood accident, for example. So all this can come under chronic category, something which is long term. So relevancies can be positive and negative, and and it is a numerical expression of Healy to tell you, to be able to help you to compare with the current information as per its resonance with your information field. Okay. So you can compare, by comparison, I mean that something can be at -20%, something can be at 40%. So because of these numbers, we get an opportunity to compare, what is needed more versus what is needed less. Now, going ahead, we have something called as acute and chronic. Now, acute is more intense and chronic is something recurring. Now, let's say, now, because Healy aura analysis, it gives you an option to set a focus of your choice. Now, here we are using the focus of studying and education. Okay, so because of the exams which are going on, so you can always, you know that okay, exams is something which is happening right now. So then this automatically comes in the category of acute because it is happening now. Migraine, having a migraine is, we say, oh my god, the headache is so much that I cannot even open my eyes. It's an acute issue. It's very intense, but it is acute because at the symptomatic level you can feel it. Now then comes certain diseases, like, for example, having sugar imbalances from last 10 years, or having having self-esteem issues from last 5 years, for example, or a certain trauma that happened in the childhood which has left you with a scar and is constantly making you feel that you lack something. So these are long term issues which have lasted for over a certain period, and somewhere it is not hurting you as much as it hurted you when it started, but it is yet somewhere giving you a background support, like a background singer. So you can say that this could be the lead singer and this could be the background singer. The chronic issues are recurring. They can keep influencing your life at various different points. And acute is a lot of things which is happening now. So if you have clients, when you have clients or when you are working for yourself, you need to ask yourself, is this problem acute, or if this problem is chronic? If the answer is that this problem is chronic, then you know that you must also work with negative relevancies. So inside the Healy aura analysis, you can simply click or tick mark the box that you wish to work with the negative relevancies also. When you wish to work at a deeper level, when you wish to work at the background level, about information which is not so conscious or the person may not be actually aware of it, in that case, choose with chronic if you wish to work, and if you're choosing chronic, then choose to also work with the negative relevancies. They help a lot. They help quite a lot. So, and when you're working with acute, yes, you can choose to probably not work on the negative relevancies while only working on the positive relevancies. Now, coming back here, we also have something called as the present state and the desired state. Now, present state is basically, like the name is suggesting, it's quite suggestive, it's present state. So it is what is present in the now. It is the current state. Well, while resonance analysis is all about reaching a certain target and a goal, because it does not, it only shows us desired state. But your aura analysis is a lot about what is in the now and where is it that you should be at. So where is it that you should be at is your desired state. Present state is what is happening, occurring in the now, okay? And desired state is your futuristic target or the goal. What is it that you wish to achieve out of it? What is it, how is it that it should be? Let's say you have an information pattern of in the information field, there is a stored pattern about what if I fail in the exams I am giving? What if suddenly now going to a classroom after 2 years of being in a lockdown could be quite challenging for the students? So in this case, that could be the present state. However, is this how we want the present state to be? Is this how ideally this information should be in the present state? The answer to this is no. So your desired state could be, I am confident in the classroom full of other students. I am friendly about towards other students. I am, in spite of a crowded classroom, I'm yet focused and I'm being able to write my exams confidently. This can be your desired state. So this is the difference about present state and desired state. Then we also have something called as a present state description and a desired state description. These are nothing but more detailed explanation supporting your present state and desired state. Now we've already seen acute and chronic, and then we have intensity and potency, something that I would like to share about. Um, we all know this chart very, very well. You know, we all are using this chart currently to go through analysis that we see in the auric level. Okay, but you know, I would like to explain this to you a bit at a deeper level, you know, a bit at the time waiver way. And that is that basically potencies and relevancies and intensities, okay, mostly the potency and relevancy are based and they come out of the homeopathy principle. Now, intensity is basically ranging from 1 to 10. Intensity is the number that you see when an analysis happens. The intensity could be 1 LM, 1 LM/LX, for example, or the intensity could be 5 LM/M, for example. So intensity is basically the number before the alphabetical signs, okay? So intensity is something which is ranging from 1 to 10, is nothing but dosage, is nothing but a mixing ratio. For example, if the intensity is 8, it means the dosage required is also 8. Means 8 drops of something. Now, so I will come to this again later on. I will help you connect it. But now, what is potency? So we saw what is intensity. We'll see what is potency. Now, potency is, you know, for people who practice homeopathy, this could be so simple and easy to understand. But the time weaver way is that potency is basically homeopathy dilution of a certain, or you know, homeopathy potency of a certain remedy. Okay, now a combination of potency and relevancy together is what defines the quality and the power at which a certain transmission needs to happen from your heal to that for the client. Okay, this combination of both of these things, that is the intensity and potency, can be viewed as your key, you know, as your key that places the information at a specific location. Now, what is this location? You know, a lot of times we have seen Marcus referring to his guide, you know, called as Bacardheim. Now, Bacardheim has something called as 12-dimensional model. Okay, in this 12-dimensional model is where is what this list of potencies is referring to. Now, this combination of both intensity and potency are the keys to which what place it has to get transmitted upon. What are these places? Is the place physical? Is the place mental and emotional? Is the place spiritual? Or because of a certain wrong action, the certain wrong activity, certain wrong thinking, wrong lifestyle, missing trust, life theme patterns, karmic, parental, grandparental, and ancestral. Okay, so these combinations, that is, you know, the list of potencies, you know, C, D, and LM, and the intensity, which is ranging from 1 to 10, these together, they define they define the place and the location in which it has to be transmitted as per the Bacardheim's 12-dimensional model. Okay, the pair of these two parameters, that is the potency and the intensity, defines the optimization quality more specifically by transporting each entry to a certain specific level in the information field, you know. So these two are very, very important. They are not just given to us as a reference to view a certain chart. But here I would like to tell you is that we believe as practitioners of time weaver, and the science behind building this in this way is that I would like you to view each entry that we get in Healy analysis after the aura analysis, each entry that we get, view it as a, you know, a maybe a homeopathy remedy. For example, this is an example. Now, let's say a certain entry is a homeopathy remedy. So automatically the dosage of this remedy is defined by the intensity, and the area where this remedy needs to reach in the Burkhardt-Hines 12-dimensional model is defined by the list of potency, that is D, C, and LM. Okay, so this is why potencies and relevancies are so much more important than we think of it as. So this makes Healy as a device very, very, very different than what we have with so many other things outside. This makes Healy stand out because it is connecting, it is helping us connect the information or the remedies that it is suggesting with the aura field with intensities, potencies, and so much more homeopathy remedies. Now, after this step, after this stage comes a stage where you need to analyze and vibrate the list. So by this time, all these points what we covered now are basically at a stage where, you are in an analysis section. Something before was pre-analysis. Then we spoke about what happens during the analysis. Now we speak about what do you do post-analysis. Now, post-analysis, some few options that you can work around with are creating a PDF analysis and sharing it with a client. You can also help them better by helping yourself go through the interpretation sections and interpret it beautifully, It allows you to interpret what are the imbalances or what are the transformations in the desired state required at your physical level, at your mental level, at your emotional level, at your spiritual level, at your life theme level, that is the planetary influence or the karmic influence also, ancestral levels also. So it's connected there. What is the lifestyle management technique you can also practice or give it out? And most importantly, by studying these interpretations, you can choose by yourself which is the microcurrent frequency program that can help your client for a certain issue. Okay, and that you can do it beautifully just by understanding aura analysis in depth. Now, you can also then choose to go to resonance analysis and select the database of your choice to work with the analysis that you have seen in the aura. So this is how you can beautifully cover so many different areas by the aura analysis. And it complements not just your microcurrent frequency programs, but it also complements the resonance programs and your entire experience with aura and Healy and microcurrent frequencies. Now, remote sessions are very, very simple to do. Day before yesterday, somebody asked a question about, constantly having to analyze again and again. Well, the answer to that is that the correct way to use aura analysis of your Healy is to analyze it only once right now, and then analyze it after few days, let's say maybe after a week or something like that, when you are ready to move on, or after you have already run a few optimizations. Now, why is that so? Why are repeated analysis not recommended? That is because this entire smart device, this beautiful smart device, it is based on the principles of quantum field, quantum field, quantum physics, and there is something inside it which is called as the observer's effect. I suggest you go back and read about observer's effect. Now, what happens with Healy is that it uses photons to transmit different information to our information field, and these photons also carry the information from our information field to Healy, which we are able to read from our phone screen. Okay, so this information carrier, this in under observer's effect, basically the information that the photon is carrying is so sensitive that it's constantly connected with your intention. So your intention changes, the information also changes, and that is exactly why it is recommended, or it is, we can say so, that it is best to not run a re-analysis, rather analyze it once and analyze it later after some period days after certain remote sessions. Okay. Now, every single time, you also don't need to make different lists. You don't have to make different lists. You could simply create a lot of same list and keep vibrating it again and again and again. Now, how do you know what you should be vibrating and for how much time? So the answer to that is quite simple. For issues which are, there are two main factors here. Okay, there are two main factors here. One is the age group of the person you are working with as the handler or the operator of the device. And second criteria majorly is whether the issue is acute or chronic. Okay, this can help you design the correct optimization timing for the client. Or yourself also. Now, when you're working with babies, when you're working with toddlers, the smaller, the younger, the really younger age group, they are quite sensitive. The babies and the animals. For them, you don't need to run optimization sessions for 12 minutes. No, it can be smaller. It could be they could be more frequent, but lesser duration. Now, when you're working with a conscious adult mind, conscious mind, an aware mind, you can run the sessions less frequently but longer durations on special days, where an SOS session is required. You could run a remote optimization for around 12 minutes also. However, please don't run a 12 minutes for an animal or a baby or a plant, because that is not going to be right. Or that's not going to be right, because that's beyond what they need. So this is how you understand the difference between these two things. Now, when you're working with, let's say, a higher age group, let's say you're working with senior citizens, where the regeneration process in the body, even including the energetic regeneration, could be lower or could be different from a previous age group. In this case, you could increase the duration also. You could go for longer durations or for shorter time spans, shorter intervals and longer durations. So this is how you can combine both these things beautifully. You can create a beautiful list of your set. You can change the name of the list of aura analysis to what is suitable to you as per the intention and the focus you have selected. And you can run various different optimizations by just one click on your hand. Certain things I would like to add here is which are a part of which are a part of intensity and potency. This chart is, let's say, the intensity is, let's say the intensity, that is the dosage, okay, is 5, 4, and then 5. Okay, these numbers, they keep changing in every entry that we see. I will try to show you when I'm sharing my screen also, but I want to first explain this right here, that often when the intensity is same, let's say there's an intensity 4, and then there is also, after 2-3 entries, another intensity is also 4. Irrespective of the relevance, if you have a same intensity, it often means that these intensities or these entries are somewhere connected to each other and they are from the similar neighborhood. Now, the same also applies to the list of potencies. Now, let's say the intensity is different, okay, but you have two C60s, from here. Let's say you have two different C60s. It also means they are from the similar neighborhood. Okay, so this is something that I wanted to add. With this, we come to an end of the presentation, and if the time permits, I would like to also connect my phone. Yes, Jasleen, do we have time that I can connect to my phone, or should we take the question answers? Hello, Jasleen, can I connect my phone?
Yes,
Do we
yes,
have
please.
sufficient time?
Yeah, you can connect your phone. Through which are you connecting? Shasha, right? Yeah, it's already co-hosted. Yes, you can connect.
It's a co-host already.
Till then, there are maybe one question. You can take that.
1 second, I need to actually share my screen and start the app. Give me a moment. Not already connected. That's why. Okay. So your is the phone screen, and we have a question. What is the measurement of high and low interims of numbers like 45 or 65? Yeah, I think you're talking about relevance. So I have explained the relevance that it can be negative and positive both. Hmm. Um, what programs can be used to increase the overall energy in the chakras? Yeah, well, you can use what programs can be used. So when you ask what programs are you referring to, the blue app or pink app? I don't understand. But well, if it is the blue app, you can please use a lot of aura, and the aura analysis can pass on the energies and influence the organ optimization levels also. Where to mention the focus intention? Where should we mention the focus and the intention before we do the aura analysis? I can show that to you now, Kavya. I can show that to you now. Okay, great. We have a connection. Uh, I can't change my focus as there is no option. Do I need to create a new client? No, we are able to change the focus. And for we can change the focus. I can show that to you. Do we have to do an aura chakra healing later to do an analysis for it? No, every single time you want to do an aura chakra healing for yourself, you don't need to do an analysis daily. The analysis that you do stands correct for a certain period of time. So if you are doing an analysis today, and you create a beautiful list for yourself, if let's say your intention is very clear that you wish to use a certain list for a longer time. So I'm going to just show you how to create a list which you can make it last for a longer time. I'm just going to go to my analysis, my record, and um, some beautiful things I want to show you is the history option here. In history option, you can just go and select a date of your choice. Let's say I wish to compare analysis from, 23, 2021. So I select that. And here I want to do my last checkup. I want to check up, compare it with my last result, which is of today's day. Then you can compare both of these wobbly images together. Not just that, you can also compare the charts here by pressing the chart button. You can always again go back to this option and again compare the charts. You can compare the wobbly images. Going back, you can also see the energetic difference or the health of the various different areas present with connected with the aura and the chakras. Now go back and go to history, and I want to also show you something else. So yeah, okay. Now here you have a sign for I. Okay, this I is for information, which gives you an access to brilliant interpretation which is out there. Let's say crown chakra, and you go into more about crown chakra. It gives you a, you can see it gives you a great understanding on physical level. What does the crown chakra stand for? What organs is it connected with? Here it says that the crown chakra is connected with brain, cerebrum, pineal gland, epiphysis, Then it's the crown chakra also stands for the stimulation of conscious brain functions, revitalization of the nervous system, control of hormones. At the psychic level, the crown chakra shows its perfection in spiritual leaders. Spiritual understanding of this, and beautifully, it also gives you a suggestion of affirmations. Affirmations is something I tried to mention in the post analysis slide also, that these are the things you can take out of this interpretation and analysis, and you can practice these affirmations additionally, and that can give you a huge leverage on the experience of your aura analysis. Then the nature of it in terms of color, elements, planet, homeopathy remedies, healing stones, plants connected. Then we have, let's go to the heart chakra. It gives a general understanding first, then it talks about the objective of heart chakra, a general understanding again. Which life topic is it connected with? Let's not get too confused. Life topic is basically talking about the planetary influences which are going on for us. Here it shows the connection with the sun, that supports the development of ego to the self, and the following explanation for it. Then we have the physical level, the psychic, emotional, spiritual. Then we have affirmations again. Now, again, for the forehead chakra, you can see for forehead also, it is suggesting beautiful affirmations which you can make a note of and chant them every day, recite them every day, or use it as your focus inside an aura analysis also. It's beautiful and you can do a lot with it also. Now, going back, you can also compare it with the interpretation of some other day, maybe. What did it show at what level? What is getting highlighted? A lot of this information is quite similar because of the technology, but it gives you a brilliant understanding about the deeper connections of a certain auric level. It is no more, when you go into this interpretation, you will see that aura is no more a wobbly image for you. It is so many things more than we already see on this screen as the colorful image of it. Okay. Now going back, I want to show you how to change the focus, because some people have asked for it. Let's say you're going to, now since I have just performed my aura in the day, I'm just going to check. I'm going to take another analysis just to show it to you. Now you can record aura and you can check the deeper interpretations. Now at the analysis level, you can start the analysis. Now when you are at the start analysis option, here it gives you the option of changing the focus, and here you can change the focus whatever as per you want, or whatever your goal also currently is. Okay, you can change this focus entirely and put something brand new as per your requirement or your family's requirement. Now here in the analysis option, you can also change the number of entries that you want. Here it is suggesting 3 different chakras, and it is suggesting 3, 3 and 3 entries. Now let's say to make it simpler and quicker, I'm just going to make it 1, 1 and 1 entry and say yes to it. And you can start the analysis. Or if your focus is chronic, or if your focus is something deeper about past issues, past fears, fear of abandonment, fear of heights, fear of relationships, anger related issues, deep rooted emotional related issues also, which is chronic in nature, then I suggest you include negative relevancies also as an option, because this allows you to work with negative as well as positive relevancies both. Now here I have already, and then you can obviously press start analysis as an option. I'm going to just simply go back and use the list I had created to show it to you. Now this is the list that I had created that I wanted to discuss today. Sorry, the second one, this particular list. Now you can see that, yeah, this particular list. Now we are just going to rename it so there is less confusion. Here I have used the focus as my aura is strong and stable. I am focused in the activity I do. I worry less my throat is healing because of the rough throat. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and I am going to simply rename it to my today's focus, which is throat or throat and save. So next time when I want to work on this area, I'm just going to simply use my list again instead of creating and generating a whole new set. Now, inside of this list, I have chosen to work with both negative and positive relevancies both. Okay, so positive relevance is 94% highest, and the minimum here, sorry, the most negative one is minus 92%. Beautifully, here I was able to get high relevancies in both negative and positive, which makes it more exciting to discuss this case with you. Now, here what you see first is, okay, let's just start with negative instead. Now, negative here, minus 92% is basically the relevance. I think here somebody had asked a question about these numbers. So this is called relevance. This can either be in positive or negative as per the choice you make. Now, 4 here is the intensity. Intensity is how intense is this certain information currently resonating with your information field, you know, or what is the dosage required also. Not so much, it's only number 4. And then we have LMXXX. Now you can always go back. LM is for the spiritual level. You can always go back to your chart and understand what is LMXXX, and you can understand where this is going. So now 3 of this as a combo, 2 of this as a combination are your key to understanding the quality of transmission which is going to happen, you know, the quality of the transmission which and where it is going to get targeted. So at the dosage 4, it is going to get targeted at the spiritual level at the spiritual level with triple X. I'm just going to see the chart to understand what does the triple X mean. Now LMXXX, okay, is for wrong acting, okay. So here it means that this particular desired state, irrespective of whatever it is, this particular desired state entry is basically minus 92% relevant. So not so relevant, is quite in the background. But when you read your present state and the desired state, always remember to read this and understand the content of it. If the content is very relevant, then even at a very high negative relevancy, you can continue using this. If not, you can simply go to the plus, the red cross sign, and delete a certain entry also if you don't wish to use it. Okay. Now the next step is 4, intensity 4 with potency LMXX, which means 4 dosage, 4 4 drops. For example, for example, let's understand this as a homeopathic remedy. Okay, so if this was an example of a remedy, then whatever is the desired state and the present state is the information of what is the current state, and then 4 dosage or 4 ratio of this information is supposed to get transmitted at your spiritual level for wrong action. This is how you perfectly interpret this section. Okay. We then similarly you can do the positive ones also. Okay. Here it is 94. I would like to take one. I have received all at the LM level, majority LM except for this one at the C4 level, where C4 level basically stands for wrong action or wrong acting, but at the mental and emotional level. Okay, so you can see that the dosage is low, relevancy is also negative, so not so much in the foreground, quite in the background. However, I've not read this, so I'm just going to go by these and decide if I want to keep this or not. Depends on my focus. Then now let's go for something which has a higher dosage. Okay, brilliant. Here we have something with a very high dosage and a very high potency also. sorry, very high relevance and very high intensity also. Intensity is 7, relevance is plus 76, which means plus is again in the foreground. Okay, it's very, very important. We must keep this, we should not remove this. The dosage is very high. 7 means this much of this much quality or this much transmission needs to happen. And then we have LMXXX. I want you to remember LMXXX. LMXXX is a part of the spiritual section. Okay. And here, the last one, I'm just repeating this because I'm trying to make a beautiful point here. How the potency here is same. Here, if you see, this is LMXXX. Okay. And when we scroll up, it is also LMXXX. So any potency which is from the same alphabetical family, it sort of means they are in the same neighborhood. At the same time, if the intensity is same, it also means they are somewhere connected with one another. Okay, so this is this information I hope you are able to understand. And for more questions, please feel free to contact me. But you know, we are already on 7:17, because of which I will have to stop sharing. What I will do is I'll take the questions now. Where to mention the focus and intention before we do the aura analysis? I already showed that. Already showed that. I think chakras mentioned wrong. I don't know what you're talking about. No audio. Okay, Malesh, thank you for answering the question. It helps. Do we have to do a aura and chakra healing regularly and do an analysis for it too? No, sorry, I had to shut the screen. I wanted to actually show this to everybody. Now, if you want to create a overall list for your aura, जो आप लंबे समय के लिए use कर सकते हो, then very simple, go to the aura analysis, run an aura analysis, and when you go into deeper analysis, select more than 2 options. Okay, select maybe 3 or 4 needed areas. You don't have to select all 7. It is not needed. You could select maybe 3 and 4, make a beautiful list for it out of it. Use negative analysis or negative relevance also. Put a correct focus. Store the list. Always come back and use the list whenever you want. This way you get saved from unwantedly constantly and doing repeated analysis. Okay. Is there any question I missed? What is the measure of high and low interims? I've already covered that. Kindly repeat the optimization required for old people. Age now old, for if you're working with senior citizens, the regeneration process or the energetic regeneration process or acceptability also can be less. Stiffness can be more. And hence more optimization can be helpful. Maybe you can do 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute thrice a day, and let's say if you are using the same list for a period of, let's say, 5 days, you are using the same list. Okay, then use it as an optimization session of 1 minute for 3 times a day. Okay, and then maybe once a day you can do a remote optimization session for 12 minutes straight. Okay, so you can do a combination of a higher interval and small intervals. Okay. Please don't repeat this cycle for animals and kids. Okay, I just repeated. What programs can be used to increase overall energy in the chakras? Well, it's best to honestly not select chakras which already have a high energy. Understand that chakras are an energy medium. Something can be overworking and something can also be underworking. Best to select underworking energies instead of going for overworking energies. Also understand that these chakras are also communicating with each other, which means they pass energies to each other. So when one thing is underworking, automatically something else will have to overwork in the body. This is the basic cycle in the energy field. So don't over energize something if it's not needed. Um, being mindful and using common sense is very, very important and essential. Remember, it's a class 2A certified wearable device, and hence you having common sense is very important. Where do we mention focus? We saw sessions will be uploaded. Okay, then I think a lot of things are. 12 Rohitji, 12 dimensions of Buckardheim. Marcus often mentions it that his guiding person is Buckardheim, and Buckardheim has these 12 dimensional levels. So when the photons are carrying the energy as per the potencies and intensity, the potency defines which level of dimension it is supposed to go into in our information field. These 12 levels are actually present in our information field and around us itself. So you can Google these keywords also and read more about it. It's out there available openly. Is there a reference manual to understand this table section? Which new owner of Healy? This table, maybe you can get in touch with the person who has introduced you to Healy and they can help you understand. Usually table is something which is available out there quite openly. They can also send you this table separately as a JPEG image also. Should we change the...
I think, Trisha, we've answered all the questions. We've got amazing feedback. I think there's just one question here that for one person, can we give a combination of pink app and blue app on the same day? Can we do that?
Yeah, of course. That is exactly how we must use this, We have to understand what each thing does, Pink app is going to work at your cellular frequency level. That is the cell's internal organ. Okay, cell ke andar jaake kaam karta hai. And blue app is going to work on the outside level, information level. It's not meant for cellular health. So if if the problem is at the physical level and the mental level, you need to use the pink app 100%.
Okay, so I think that's a perfect answer to kind of put this session to an end. A lot of times people generally ask this, when should we use blue and when should we use pink? I think, this, yeah. Go ahead.
There's one very important question somebody has asked in a direct message. Must we change the relevance and vibrate? No. If you are using editing list as an option, please don't change potency, relevancy, and intensity. Especially don't change the intensity and potency. Understand that the whole point of intensity, having intensity and potency, is that it's a command to where the transmission needs to happen by the photons. Okay, so if you change that, then it is going to lose direction. You're automatically changing the direction. No, we don't change that. Let it stay unchanged. Do not change it. Okay, I think we are almost done. Yeah, over to you.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, Trisha, if we keep the session open, questions will keep coming in, right? So I think it's a better we stop here. So I would really like to again thank you, for sparing close to 3+ hours for us, and sharing the knowledge that you have on resonance, on aura, on lot of technical background that we didn't know. I think we got to know from you. Lot of feedback pouring in. I'm so humbled that you have joined us here. So thank you from the behalf of all the participants and from Healy India Corporate. So I would really like to thank you.
Thank you, and special thanks to Justine. I think Justine puts a lot of effort in arranging everything, bringing all of us together as a country and helping all of us share information to each other. So thank you, Justine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Trisha. And thank you for all the participants for joining us, for both the days. I am positive that all of you would have gained a lot. Yes, the recording will be there on Facebook without doubt. I've already posted part 1 recording on FB under guide section. Part 2 recording will also be put up by tomorrow, right? So I think it's a very, very happy time. I think a lot of our doubts got cleared and lot of new information we have received. So I'm super excited. I hope you guys go back, use all this information. If you have any doubts, again, reach out to us on Facebook. We will be there, to support you on the page and on the group. So until we meet next, stay safe, stay healthy, take care. Thank you so much. I think it's been a very, very fruitful two-day session, for 3 hours plus, and we will bring more such sessions for you in the future. So keep waiting. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye-bye.